something? Welcome to Thrive Yoga. This is Rebecca. Well, hello. Welcome back. This is part 2 of the Absolute Beginner series on yoga. So part 1, I talked about the breath, how important the breath is, how important alignment is in your practice, how alignment is working the muscles and giving your bones and joints a nice relief, and putting all of the emphasis on working your muscles so that you protect your joints and so that you're safe and that you're strong. I also talked about the breath in series 1 or part 1, about how important it is to inhale fully, nice long deep breath, slow, exhaling it out, breathing in and out of your nose, of course, but any modifications that you need to make, because every body is different. Remember, I said that each body is unique. You can be anywhere from 1 to 100 years old and need yoga, okay? You can be very inactive and you need to get more active. Yoga is a very safe way to get your body in shape. You can be a marathon runner, or you can be a 5K runner, and you may find that you're starting to get stiff. You don't have great balance. The bones are, because your muscles are so strong, you don't have any flexibility. You're starting to have trouble with some areas of movement. So no matter how fit you are or how unfit you are, yoga will benefit your body. It's very, very good for you, mainly because of the breath and then, of course, the alignment. So anyway, we'll get started here now with part 2. Part 1, we started in a seated pose. Part 2, I'm actually going to talk about the breath and moving with the breath, and we're going to come to a table position. So table is just what it sounds like. I'll start off with my knees about hips width apart. Remember, I said you can use props. Props are good, not as a crutch because you're less capable, but because props can help you actually do better. You can use a blanket if you've got a blanket. If you don't have a blanket, you can always fold your mat up like this and create a little bit more cushion. But if you do have a blanket, if you've got a towel, towels work great. Just take that blanket, towel, whatever you've got, knees about hips width apart, and so you want the hips directly over the knees, and we're going to come out. Hands, palms should be the distance from your knees that your shoulder is to your hips, so we're not way out here and we're not up here. So find that position, that natural position that allows your legs to be perfectly straight and vertical, your hands to be perfectly straight and vertical. You always, whenever you place the hands down, you don't want to do the fist. You don't just want to cup the hands. You probably don't want to be up on the fingertips. That's when you start getting into power classes and making those hands stronger. But we want to spread the fingers nice and wide. Happy jazz hands. Pointer fingers go forward. The other fingers are spreading out. Thumbs are spreading out. So press into those fingertips. Lower the wrist down. Okay? So now this table, you don't want to sag. Not yet anyway. You want a nice flat back. Imagine that this is a table. Maybe if you've got kids, they're having a tea party on your back and you're the pretend table. So you're holding this pose. So this seems like a nice and gentle pose, but you're actually engaging those muscles. You're using those back muscles. And back muscles are so important because how many people as they get older start to have back problems? And back problems are in the joints. It's the cartilage. It's things like that, bulging disc, that start to wear away in the spine, and you protect the back by strengthening those muscles. So imagine now pressing up, lifting away. I'm kind of rounding my shoulders just a little bit. I'm engaging those back muscles, okay? I'm also engaging the core muscles, and you actually even use the core muscles to help protect your back, your obliques. Everything that you can strengthen is going to relieve the stress on your back. So having a nice strong back is very important for your general health. So as I said, this is actually a warm-up, a breathing sequence that we're going to go to. This is called cat-cow. So Find that breath, find that stillness, gaze forward, keep the neck long. We don't want to drop our head. Okay, it's not like a camel. We're not dropping the head over, or whatever animal it is that drops the head. I can't think of one. But we're going to gaze forward, keep the spine nice and long, all the way up to the top of the head. That string, that imaginary string is pulling up through the top of the head. Our feet can be relaxed, tops of the feet on the mat. If you're a tense person, you may find yourself like this. You're always ready to pounce. If that's the case, relax. We're not working the feet out right now. So let's just flip the toes over, pat them on the floor there, relax those feet, wiggle those toes. Again, pull everything in the core in, gaze goes forward. And take a couple of breaths here, finding stillness. All right, now as you start to get in the pattern of your breath, on your first inhale that you start movement, start to bring your chest forward and notice how my back arched. And that's okay. My back is going to arch, and I'm going to open my chest forward, maybe even rock a little bit forward. And then as I exhale, I'm going to reverse that, and I'm going to curl up. I'm going to start to bring my hips forward, my shoulders back, imagining a string is pulling up in the middle here. And this is the cat. This is the angry, howling cat. Now I am dropping my head. So you drop your head, shake it out, and then you reverse that. You inhale back up, exhale out. And so it's not about rushing. It's not about inhale, hold it, exhale, hold it. It's about moving slowly with the breath. So we're going to inhale up, exhale out, inhale up, exhale out. One more time. Exhale out. And then come back to our table, but keep that breath going. Keep that nice breath. Now we are going to turn the toes backwards. I'm just going to sit back here. I'm going to start to shift my weight into my feet. Okay, and here you may need a block. And so if you've got 2 blocks, that's fine. You can use a block to help you push up. It gives you a little bit more height. Again, they have a low, a medium, and a high. And high gives you more height, but it's a little more wobbly. So I like the medium. It's kind of a good middle average. Okay, so you press in, start to drop the heels. Okay, we're going to set those feet down, and we're just going to slowly rise up to standing. I'm going to go ahead and move the blanket out of the way here. I'm actually going to move the blocks to the back of the mat, but we will use them. I'll keep one at the front, one at the back. Okay, so we made ourselves up from cat-cow. There's a couple of ways that you can move through poses to get from one pose to another, but I just want to talk about the cat-cow as our warm-up, our breath, getting in sync with our breath. You could go up to a down dog. We haven't learned that yet. You could step your feet up. So we just came back gently. We just pressed up, and now I'm at the back of my mat. Okay, but I like to start at the front of my mat. Okay, and part 1 we learned that mountain pose. So however you want to get from the cat-cow up to the mountain pose is fine. Okay. So, again, finding that mountain pose, remember building it from the ground up. We spread the toes, press into the outside of the feet, we lift the arch, we sink down into the heels, knees over the ankles, hips over the knees. Now that's all set, so we start to lift the chest, keep the back nice and flat, maybe tuck the hips under just a little bit, shoulders relaxed, finding that mountain pose, finding that breath. Okay, so now I'm going to inhale into chair. We learned that chair pose. So again, chair can be right here. So let's go ahead and take chair with our hands at heart center. So we got this chair pose right here. And remember, holding it for 3 breaths. We can start to make the adjustments with our body, and we start to appreciate it. Anything more than 3 breaths, you'll feel the muscles starting to burn. You're starting to build strength, and that's good. but maybe today we're just going to flow. Okay, so we're going to take our last inhale and then exhale, forward fold. Again, warming up the body. We'll do one sequence here. Inhale, halfway lift. Remember, pull those shoulders back. Engage that core. Exhale, release over. Inhale all the way up. And then this time we're just going to dive forward, go into again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Here's something new I'm going to teach you. Start to bend those knees, okay? And so we're bending the knees, and again, if your hands don't touch, I've got long arms. I can touch the floor. Maybe you're way off the floor. You could always grab a block if you needed to, but we're going to, whatever you need here for stability, because we don't want to topple over, we're going to pick up the left foot and step it back to the back of the mat. And you want to step it directly behind where you were. So if you were right here, you step it back here, maybe even a little wider. If you step it back behind the other, suddenly it's like you're on a tightrope, and it can be very challenging for your balance. And eventually you do want to challenge yourself, but getting started, let's just step back there. Notice that my knee stays over my ankle. I don't go out forward. I keep my knee here. And so again, building from the ground, I've got those back toes kind of bent. Okay? Might not be comfortable. My heel is up. Still got my heel up. And I'm going to slowly, slowly come up. Okay? And notice my hips are square to the front. Okay? One hip is not back or forward. Hips are square. Knee is here. One of the main things about these lunges is sometimes our knee comes over to the middle. You want to keep that knee directly over the ankle, even maybe a little to the outside. Okay, so we're lunging back here. So this pose, and you bring those shoulders back. Again, keep that spine nice and long. Now we keep the head up. So this is our crescent pose. Hands can be here on hips. Hands can be up here. Okay, you just want to think about wherever you are, that your shoulders are over your hips. You're not leaning forward, and you're not like, hey, leaning back. Keep straight up and down. Arms up here. If they start to burn, notice you can always bring them down to here. Eventually, you want to challenge yourself to bringing the arms up. Usually when you start to bring the arms up, the arms will be kind of bent. Eventually, they might be straighter. Eventually, you can reach up tall. As you do, you want to rotate the pinkies in. So it's okay to have that little bend in the elbow, little turn here. Okay, so if you're doing this at home, you're thinking, holy cow, she's killing me. This is so hard. Okay, so I'm going to bring my hands to heart center, and I'm going to step right back up into that chair. Big inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. And down. Now does one side feel a little different from the other? We put some weight in lunging this. We were stretching the back foot back. Those toes are probably more stretched out. So you're probably feeling different muscles working on different sides of the body. So that's why it's important to do the other side. So we're always going to do the other side. So we inhale up. Exhale, leading with the chest, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time, hands down. Again, if you want to take your block, step that foot back. Remember, we step it back behind where it was up front, not behind the other one. Check in with that knee. Or keeping the ankle lifted. Make sure you don't go out. And how far do you step back? I didn't really talk about that. Maybe you step right here. Maybe you're really stretchy. You can go all the way back. Know that there's no perfect distance. It's the perfect distance for your body. And your body is different from day to day. Some days you may be further back. You can go lower. Some days you may be up here just because that's what your body needs that day. So again, we square up those hips. We inhale up. Again, getting the shoulders over, keeping the spine nice and straight. And we're reaching up, but we relax the shoulders. Chin is up. Again, checking out, making sure that front knee is okay. We'll hold this for another breath here. And again, challenging if you keep your hands up. If you feel a little wobbly, feel free to bring the hands to here, but if you keep the arms up, we press off that back foot, come up to that chair. Big inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold, and inhale all the way up and back to mountain. Okay, so that was our first little sequence in flow, just going into a crescent pose. Crescent is one of the warrior poses, and I'm going to teach you now the warrior one and the warrior two, the two most basic standing poses for flow. Okay, so finding that mountain again, we come grounded, feet are nice and firm, standing up nice and tall. Inhale up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We bend those knees here, or the blocks, however you need to. We're going to step the left foot back. Okay, crescent, we kept, notice my back foot, I was up on those toes. For warrior, we're actually going to drop the heel down. If your heel will drop down, maybe it will up here. Maybe you can go back further. And you want that foot to be turned out. You don't want it facing forward. You want it turned out about 45 degrees. If possible, drop that heel down. Now, everybody is different, so if your heel is a little bit off the floor, that's perfectly fine, okay? So you've got to find the balance that's right for you of, do I want my heel down and to be up here, or do I want to go lower and my heel might be floating a little bit? And notice here, let me try it on this side, show you a little bit more. When I stepped back, notice that my hips, if I place my hands here on my hip bones, they're not facing the front anymore. So let's come back to the front. Let's put our hands on our hip the first time. In this lunge, step back like the crescent and drop the ankle down and pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Okay? So that has the hips nice and aligned. So check in with the front knee. Make sure it's not going past the ankle. It should be over the ankle, not to the inside. Want to protect that knee. Okay? This leg may be slightly bent. That's okay. If you can start to straighten it, that's good. Ankle may be up here. Again, everybody is different. Don't say, my body doesn't do what her body does. Mine doesn't do what yours does. So know that it's okay. All right, so we're going to drop that ankle down, square up those hips, and then you're like this. Bring your chest up, shoulders nice and proud over those hips. Maybe you inhale up. Okay, this is warrior one. Don't you feel like a warrior here? Don't you feel like you're ready to go out, conquer the world? You're a warrior. Okay, nice. Find that breath again. Okay, one more breath, just because 3 breaths is really good. And as you inhale, reach up, maybe the hands come together. Gaze goes up, little back bend here. We're going to open up. And opening up means that my hips now are opening up to the side wall. First thing that wants to happen is that knee wants to follow me. I'm going to keep that knee out here. We are opening up the hips, and maybe they just open to here. Maybe you're crazy open. You can open up all the way. Maybe you're just right here. That's fine. Toes can start to turn out parallel the side of your foot, parallel to the back of your mat. So now you've got that openness here. Okay? Again, we're staying right here. So put your hands down on your hips. Are your shoulders here? Are you out here? Are you back here? Find that perfectly vertical spine. Okay, keep the back nice and flat, so don't stick the booty out. Bring it in. Open up those arms. This is where the challenge is. You're working out this. So if this starts to burn and get tired, press into the back leg. Opening up those arms. Arms may start to get tired. Usually for some reason the back one gets more tired, so we start to do this. We try to keep them both up, keep them even. And then even we talk about keeping the chin facing the shoulders, but this time we're going to turn the neck and gaze over the front fingers. This is warrior two. So warrior two is side open. It's very nice, very beautiful, very strong. Warrior two. This is where you see most of your yoga logos. This warrior two pose is very beautiful, very strong. So we've got warrior one. Okay. And then reminding you what warrior two is turning back, coming back. Those hips are nice and square. Warrior one. Warrior two. Okay, notice my hips, my shoulders. Warrior one. Warrior two. Even your ankle may come up a little bit. Warrior one. Warrior two. Let's come back to warrior one. Step up to the front. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. And let's do that on the other side. All right, you guys ready? And inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. A lot of repetition here, but that's okay. We're just building a lot of strength, getting in our breath. Exhale, fold. This time we're stepping that right foot back. Again, keeping the foot behind where it was before. Start to drop the ankle down. This is the warrior. So we got that 45-degree foot. We got those hips. Remember, they want to open up. We want to keep them square. So think about pulling that right hip forward, left hip back. Okay? And then again, check in with that knee. Keep it over the ankle. Press into that back foot. This front foot gets tired, so press into the back. That'll help you shift your weight up over your hips. Inhaling up. And again, spine is nice and long. Your core is engaged. Your shoulders relaxed. A lot to think about, but the only thing you really have to do here is breathe. So just breathe. Okay. And next inhale, reach up high, maybe opening up a little bit more to the back. Exhale, open up that warrior two. Again, the toes turn out. Knee stays aligned. Relax those shoulders. Press into that back foot, maybe even the outside of the back foot. Lifts the arch a little bit. And breathe here. And now let's go. Warrior one. Warrior two. Warrior one. And two. Back to warrior one. Back to our chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up to standing. And hands down to mountain. Awesome. You guys are amazing. That was great. That was a basic warrior sequence. There's a lot more variations to that, a lot more advances, so you could never possibly ever get bored with yoga. And if you notice people who've been doing yoga for 20, 30 years, they're going to do these exact poses. They're going to start off breathing. They're going to do some cat-cows, warm up the body. They're going to find mountain, find that alignment. They're going to sweep the arms up and fold. They'll take a warrior one, a warrior two. The better you get, you don't start skipping those little steps, okay? You continue to grow your practice, to learn new moves. Your body gets stronger. You can do more. Your body gets more flexible. You can make each pose a little bit more challenging every time you do it, okay? So you'll never possibly ever get bored with yoga. I always say that yoga is one of those things that the more you do it, the harder it gets, because you know that you can do more, you can do more, you can do more. You can make those poses more challenging in a lot of different ways, and it's very safe. You have to know what your limits are. Always, as I said in lesson one, listen to your body. Know that the burning muscles, you're building strength, but anytime that a joint hurts, a knee hurts, hips don't feel right, shoulders really start to ache, you know, you've turned them wrong, then that's not good. Listen to your body. Make changes for your body. Make sure that you always do what is beneficial for your body. Don't push yourself. Know your physical limits and take care of yourself. And join us again for part 3 for beginning yoga. Thank you. Taking a break. How do I stop it? Yeah, okay. Yeah. I just walked up. Yeah. It was like